Swampfox. It's a relatively new optic. I've been looking at them online and decided to pick one up since I did need a red dot for one of my Polymer 80 builds. The one I went with was the Swampfox the Justice. The Justice is the one that's a little bit larger. Liberty is the exact same thing, just smaller window size. Here are some of the specifications on it. It does have a 3 MOA dot, 27 millimeter. I believe the other one's closer to 20 or 22, the Liberty cut, which most full-size guns at this point, if they are cut for an optic, they typically have the RMR footprint. The other thing I really liked about it is that it was rated as having really nice clear glass, and it definitely does have that. I mean, even through here, you can see how nice and clear that front optic is. So clear I could see it's just a little off to the side there, but still, that's how clear the actual glass is. This even co-witnesses, which I was amazed by, being that these aren't even suppressor height sights. These are just standard sights. So I was surprised that I was able to go ahead and just kind of look through it. It's a little harder to tell here on camera, but when you do look through it, I mean, they do line up right about there. And again, if I'll put it in a picture that we can have a better view of it, but it does co-witness without the need for suppressor height sights, right about there, which is pretty amazing. Not something I expected, not something I even thought about, but it is really good to know that it can do that. As you can tell right here, these are really low profile sights. They're just rear blacked out sights. Front fiber optic, low as well. So that was a pleasant surprise. This is just a build that I've already made. I think I made a video of it already. It's just a regular Polymer 80 G17 slide style with a G&G grip on it. I mean, a slide on it. No damage to the front. The reason I want to check that out is it is something that I do on all my dots. I do just rack the slide like that on a regular basis if I'm around a table. And I say regular basis as in it's just something that I do. That's not the way I typically rack it. I do use my hands, but it's something that I do often enough. I did also notice that the glass is really low. Check that out. That's how low it gets to the actual slide, which is why it's able to co-witness. You can even hear the audible clicks on it. That's always a plus. So even if you don't hear it, you do definitely feel it. So I like the look of it. Hopefully it will hold up at the range. I'm curious about that finish. It does have a glossier appearance to it. And I don't know if that's gonna just fade with sun and use, or if that's gonna chip, or if it's gonna hold up. In either case, I'm not too worried about it. This gun is specifically just for the range, which is why I didn't get suppressor height sights for it. I knew eventually I'd get an optic for it, but I did not expect it to co-witness. Now I don't have to worry about paying an additional, extra for those suppressor height sights. I'll let you know how it works out at the range. This optic is what some people consider budget. They're not really that cheap. They're about $250 to $280 depending on where you buy it. Maybe a little bit less if you get it on some sort of special. But anything $250 and above, it's not really budget. To me, a budget is closer to $100. This is the least expensive one that I own. It holds up. I have no problems buying these as opposed to some of the other ones. I'm not really that much into name brand. I'm just into something that's gonna work. All right, we'll see how it goes. I'll make a follow-up video once I take it to the range. Here's one thing I noticed about the dot that I'm not a fan of. See how you can make it go all the way up, all the way to the sides, but once you get to the bottom, it disappears. See that? Which sucks because I wanted to put the dot not above it, like right there, like an eye. I don't like to dot the eye. I like to actually set it right on there, but look, I can't. Dot disappears. If it was towards the top, I wouldn't care so much because, I mean, really, they don't really go that high. I mean, I'm not ever having my gun at an angle where that would be an issue. But I do typically have the dot here about the center or a little bit lower, and it's right there where it affects it. So I'm glad this is a range toy and not an actual gun I would use for self-defense, because I think that'd be just out for me. If I ever did just put the dot right above the front post, maybe it wouldn't bother me, but I don't. So I typically have it right on because I like to draw my gun and present it the exact same way each and every time.